shit. What the?
Do you have to pause, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, there. No, it's still going. What the fuck?
Right here.
I hit that, didn't I?
No, you hit play. Next one over.
Oh.
I'm a shitty golfer, you can ask my wife. I've been out there hacking every day of my life. I got the shorts and all the plaid sweaters. That new tailor-made driver didn't make me any better. Man, I hit 'em fat and I hit 'em thin. I roll 'em in the bunkers, man, I hit 'em again. Slice 'em in the bushes, crank 'em in the creek. I pop that sucker up and hooked it out in the street. Yeah, I'm 245, right down the middle, and I miss the green to the left just a little. Chili dip a wedge and put it all together. Hit that son of a bitch right up there in the leather. If you call that good and let me press on the side, you can put me down for a five.
You're listening to Mildly Offensive with your host, Corey Wagner and Dylan France.
Show 27, Mildly Offensive. And Dylan, yeah, we just put out our show from last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We previewed the U.S. Open. Now it's over.
And the victor, surprise, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. And he shot a great round today. They said he hit 17 greens.
That's out of the 18.
In one round.
Holy shit. Yeah, and, dude, he came out on a mission. Fitzpatrick was like, he was the only guy in the last couple of groups that was like exceptional at the he played every shot that was essentially required. Like he wasn't trying to hit the heroic shot, but he knew where to play to what part of the hole.
He had a terrible tee shot on 18. He hit it to the left and it went into the far bunker, and he had a great shot out of the bunker. He wound up parring the hole and winning the tournament. And you got to feel for Zalatoris a little bit. Two majors in a row, you have a chance to win. And
Will Zalatoris to me is you can look at it from two perspectives. You can say, okay, Will didn't win either of them, and it's disappointing. Or you can look at it from the perspective of the guy put himself in position to win 2 straight majors, and he finished second in both of them. And I choose to believe that he's going to win a major, right?
Right. It almost feels like
it's an inevitability.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I think I don't see how he's not the favorite to win the Masters next year. The only question I have with Will, with Zalatoris, is his putting's a little.
Yeah.
It's not great. Like they were talking about how, like, when he would go back with his backswing, he doesn't, like, he's concentrating because he comes from the inside when he goes on his backswing, and then when he would go forward, he'd have to start it out a little bit, and then that would allow him to actually hit the putt straight. But generally, you're not worried about the backswing and a putt. You're worried about the forward swing.
Yeah.
And how solidly and how in the middle of the blade you're hitting the ball. And so it's a little bit of a worry to me that he's more worried about how straight he is in the backswing for, you know?
Scotty Scheffler had a good round today too. He fell off a little bit yesterday, and he was actually in the lead but wound up, I think, double bogeying to fall out of the lead.
Yeah, Scotty was great on the front and really and not great on the back, both Saturday and Sunday. I just don't think the back fits his eye like the front does. The front for whatever reason played really hard for the players, just like the back did, but for some reason, the front, he was able to hit the ball in the right spot and make the putts. And he actually, yesterday, on that one par 5, he hit his second shot, and it came down the embankment off the false front and ran 40 yards down the hill. And he actually jarred his pitch up the hill on the next shot. And today he actually he did the same thing. The ball came back down 40 yards. He had his third shot, and it actually came back down again at his feet, and he had to hit his fourth on the green and make the putt for a 5 today to save par. But that was when he was winning the tournament.
It was overall, though, I think it was a great U.S. Open. I watched a lot. I watched a lot of the first round. on Thursday. I didn't see anything from the second round on Friday, and yesterday I watched all the highlights. I rewatched it basically on the Golf Channel later on at night, and your one of your picks last weekend was Rory, and he hung right in there. He finished fifth.
Yeah, Rory.
He played pretty well.
But they made a good point. Rory's really not great in wind.
Yeah,
and that's what kills him, because Rory tries to hit like the shot harder or to club up when there's wind, and then generally when you try to hit harder or you try to club up, you pull off of it a little bit. So either he comes up short, or the guy comes up fucking way left when he's trying to hit his shots, and he ends up in the shed.
It's just nice to see him playing well again, though. You know, like he was in contention.
Yeah, the problem though, this is the problem with Rory now, though. I think it's
not that his name is Rory.
When he won the majors prior, right? When he won his other majors, he dominated those. He was dominating those majors. Like when he won the U.S. Open twice, he was like, he was shooting in the low 60s. He was running away with the tournaments. I don't know, Rory. If he's not running away with the tournament, to me, I don't think he's good enough in every facet of the game to win majors consistently. I think he's good enough if he has a great week. But if he just has an okay week, I don't. He's not like he's not like Zalatoris, where he's going to hang in there in the real tough conditions and give himself a chance in each tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Did you? I think it was the first round on Thursday. Did you see? No, maybe it was Friday. Did you see the hole-in-one?
From who?
I'm not entirely sure who hit it, but it was on the second hole.
It was on the par 3, right?
Yeah, the par 3 second.
Yeah.
It wasn't Cam Smith. It was a different Cam.
I didn't watch it live, but yeah, I saw the highlight of it.
It was pretty funny because the one announcer goes, he's like, this would be a great opportunity for I forget who it was. It wasn't Cam Smith. But he said
Cam Smith, I think he missed the cut, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But he goes, the announcer goes, this would be a great time for him to
jar one?
Yeah, to do something here to take a run at making the cut, and he put it right in the hole.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Yeah. Listen, there's no doubt that this course was fair, and I think that's what players respected with it. There was a lot of shots that were blind. There was a lot of if you hit it offline and you hit it into the shed, like you paid the penalty.
Yeah.
But if you hit quality iron shots and quality shots off the tee, you were generally rewarded.
Yeah.
Because the biggest issue players have with some of the USGA setups in the past have been they're not fair. But nobody complained that this wasn't fair.
Right.
But I will say this, though. I'm not a fan of this course, really. I'm not a fan of the way that this course sets up. I prefer my courses to have like a lot of trees on the sides. And this course was a lot of fescue. It was more of a linksy course. And that allowed for the wind to really be a big factor.
Right.
I think Rory's better even though he's from Ireland, I think he's better on a traditional American course than he is with the long fescue and the British Open kind of.
Right.
You know, like I think Tiger Woods thrives in the wind and in the harsher elements because Tiger was always a guy that he was kind of like, he had that mentality that Zalatoris has or you know, some of these other guys that hung in there today. He had the mentality that, you know, half the field's going to beat themselves because of the tough conditions, so I only have to beat a couple of guys and like hang in there and just play better than the majority of the field. Like even if you shoot even or +1, that's great in comparison to what they're doing. You don't have to shoot 7-8 under.
Right.
Like Tiger was a king at being able to capitalize when the conditions were hard and a lot of people were blowing up. Whereas I think that the great golfers, the really great ones, they figure out how to win when other guys are like, fuck this sucks, I can't win in this, you know, I can't play in this.
Right.
Because it's not fun. Like, after a while, you're like, shit, the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour, the fescue's fucking high as shit, I've just double bogeyed 2 holes in a row, and I'm fucking, this is totally not my element. Like,
right.
I want to be in Florida in 85 degree weather, fucking with fairways as big as my fucking dick,
Right, here I am 4 over through 5.
Exactly. and that's the thing. Like, I just, listen, I'm not saying Rory can't play on a hard golf course or in hard conditions. I just think Rory doesn't know, he doesn't flight the ball low enough. He doesn't, and it doesn't penetrate the wind like some of these other guys.
Hole in one was done by Cameron Young.
Okay.
I had to Google that,
So not Cam Smith, Cameron Young. So you got the name.
I remembered Cam.
Both were Cameron.
Not our little buddy Cammy either. He's not hitting hole in ones yet.
I don't think he'll ever do that. I don't want to put anything past the kid, but I have a better chance of getting a club thrown at me by the kid than having him hit hole. That's for fucking sure. That kid's a little bit of a mess.
So we alluded to it before that Rory was your pick and he was there.
Listen, I agree with you. I give Rory a lot of credit. I think he hung in there. He played really well for the most part. Now I think on Saturday he could have played a lot. He could have played better. Today he played decent. Yesterday I think he could have played better. I think that's where he kind of played himself out of the tournament. I mean, and Justin Thomas too. Thomas had a rough time. He had a bad weekend.
Yeah, John Rahm wound up having a bad last 2 rounds as well. He was up there for a little while and he wound up finishing 1 over.
I mean, JT, man, he couldn't putt at all for some reason. And I guess, sometimes some green complexes suit your eye and some don't. And usually Thomas is just great with the putter, but, some weeks you just don't have it. And I think that was the case with him because it's not about his ability. He can obviously win anywhere, but he didn't capitalize at Brookline. So
speaking of picks being correct, the not to segue into another thing here, but the Golden State Warriors won the NBA Finals.
They did.
And I did pick them.
Okay, well,
I just wanted that to be noted.
Okay, all right. Well, listen.
and I wanted to have a conversation with you as well because I've been reading a lot of funny stuff because this is Steph's 4th Finals win,
mm-hmm.
and there are people now saying that
do you want to end golf?
We could go back to golf.
Okay. I just didn't want to.
Well, this is on my mind. I just wanted to.
All right. Yeah, sure.
There are people that are saying that Steph has surpassed LeBron because he's won 4 finals in a shorter period of time, and he's done it with less help, more homegrown help, and less help than LeBron did it with. And I don't know how I feel about. I don't like LeBron as much as you don't like LeBron, but I don't know that Steph is. I think you can argue that Steph is the most influential player that we've seen in the last 20 years, aside from maybe Kobe Bryant.
You can make the argument that Steph, he changed the current basketball game to the way it is now more so than LeBron ever had. LeBron's just LeBron changed the sport in a way that made it okay, you could be a point guard and a power forward and a fucking shooting guard kind of all in one. And LeBron made it so that you could essentially play almost everywhere on the court in every position. Like before LeBron, you would have shooting guard, power forward, center, and you had defined areas of the court and a lot of guys weren't versatile enough to really be all of them. When LeBron, the thing you got to give LeBron credit for, now I don't love LeBron. I don't like LeBron, but he definitely showcased that if you have the size, you can be that influential. You can be the power forward, you can be the center, you can be the shooting guard if you're a good enough shooter.
Right.
But I think the way that the NBA is now, right, with Steph Curry. In the 3-pointer, you get to a point now where the game's pretty much all perimeter, and the center and the power forward aren't really that big of a deal anymore. And the reason for that is Steph Curry. He came into the league. He started shooting from the fucking half-court line, making draining shots. People weren't defending him at the half-court line. Yeah. No one was like, "Oh my God, we got to stop him from shooting half-court fucking shot." The guy
he does it all the time.
The guy changed the way that teams defend players and great players. Like I think there is something to be said for the fact that he didn't join a super team.
Yeah, he's never left. And he's done it all with one team.
Yeah, he kept Golden State through the ups and the downs, and they had a couple of lean years the last few years.
Yeah,
they
no Clay for a little while.
Yeah, they weren't great every year the last few years, but they always managed to figure out how to even losing Durant, like they figured out how to adapt and win without him, and like there's something to be said for that. I think Steph is a better leader than LeBron ever was, and I think Steph's more influential than LeBron has ever been. Now, championship-wise, yeah, I mean, Steph has the same amount of championships, and you could argue because he's better in the finals and, he has the same number of championships that, logistically, if you look at the numbers, I mean, Steph is definitely on the level. I think it depends on essentially who you like better and who what you value more at the end of the day. I think Steph.
I'm really glad I asked you this question because your answer has been nothing short of on point.
Steph is to me. Steph is
I love Steph.
To me, Steph is he's a bigger deal than LeBron. I think without Steph, the NBA is a totally different sport than it is right now. Without LeBron, it's not. It's not different. And I mean, I think the way people defend it might be a little bit different. The way I think the big man might be a bigger part of the game still if LeBron wasn't in the game. Like, because I think.
Well, there's with LeBron getting older and stuff, there's a lot of talk about who's going to be the face of the NBA going forward, and it's you got your Luka Doncic,
you got your Giannis.
You got your Giannis's, you got your Lukas, you got your
Giannis, and Giannis is Giannis is a big guy, so like
you've got your guys like that, and I wouldn't, I just wouldn't sleep on the fact that Steph could take that over for a couple of years before he hangs it up. Even though he's not that much younger than LeBron, I would argue that Steph could be. I mean, there are a lot of kids out there shooting threes from the sticker because Steph does it.
Steph, the difference between LeBron and Steph, and I'm gonna leave it at this, is there's hard miles and there's easy miles on a body, right? And LeBron's an old 37 or whatever the hell he is, right? Steph kind of, when you think about it, the way he plays, he's not physical, and he's on the perimeter, and like his way of playing is much more sustainable.
Yeah, as
you age gracefully to keep the way you can shoot great up into your 40s. Can you play the way LeBron plays that much longer at this point in his career? I don't think you can. That's why the Lakers really got to bank on Anthony Davis being healthy and there for more than 3/4 of their games next year if they want to be a team that has any shot. But again, with Westbrook, I don't see them having any shot. Yeah. But you know what? And listen, I don't hate Westbrook.
But there are people that would take Westbrook in a trade. You just
well, but it's the money thing.
Yeah,
though. They don't want to. They don't. People aren't going to pay him.
The money.
You got to eat the money. If you're going to eat the money, you might as well fucking keep the guy.
Right.
Which to me,
I like Westbrook a lot. Like with that year that he won the MVP with Oklahoma City, I thought that was
Westbrook.
I had a lot of fun watching him that year.
Westbrook is a great talent, and he's he was extraordinarily athletic, and he was incredible. But the problem with Russell is he's not someone that fits into a chemistry level team and can contribute on a level that gives you a chance to win a championship, because the guy's going to isolate and shoot at some point, and teams are going to let you do it because he can't shoot. And that's the thing. That's the bitch of it. The guy as the guy ages here, he's only going to get slower, and he's going to have to rely on his shot. And the problem is he's never been able to figure out how to shoot accurately.
Yeah. So real quick before we end the NBA stuff, there's been a lot of talk in the inside the Knicks area that they're looking to trade into the top 4 in the draft and take this guy, and if he's available, Jaden Ivey from Purdue. Okay. So the Knicks front office has been talking with with Sacramento about possibly trading up in the draft, which I believe is soon. It's usually in June.
Who would they trade to get?
They're not trading it. I don't think they're trading anybody. They're gonna swap some picks and stuff, and possibly Julius Randle.
Okay.
Which I would be cool with because he seems to have fallen off a little bit. And
well, dude, Julius was a Laker originally,
yeah.
and listen, he wasn't the player he was when he was on the Knicks, when he was on the Lakers, but
he had one good year.
He was always a head case.
Yeah.
Though he always, his maturity is a big question mark.
The moral of me even speaking about this right now is that I actually like that they're going to try to
build through the draft
and not. Because there was talks about them possibly trading for Donovan Mitchell, and you would have to give up everything. Donovan Mitchell would want the Jazz would want R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickley, and that's your whole core.
The big question for you though is, are you keeping Thibodeau?
Yeah,
they're keeping Thibodeau.
Yeah. They didn't fire him.
As long as Tom has some job security and he has a chance to make it work. I would be fine with whatever they do.
I think
if they go, but again, like you said, you don't give up the house for Mitchell because A, you got to pay the guy, and B, if you don't have a team that he could play with,
right,
then you're not going to win, right?
I wouldn't. I would. And Obi Toppin had like a coming out party, if you will, when the couple of games that Randall didn't play at the end of the season, he went 40. One game he had 42 points. One game he had 35 points, and it just if I was Thibodeau, I in my head I'd be like, why haven't I been giving this guy more playing time? And with the starting five, you know.
And Thibodeau is a smart guy. I think last year his message got a little bit lost because I think at the end of the day results weren't there, right? I think once you start winning and you see the result, like it's a lot easier to listen to a message. But like when things are bad and they're not really progressing and you don't see how you're building, I think that young players especially get discouraged. But no, I listen, if they can trade up and get to the guy from Purdue, then I mean that would be, I mean as long as you believe that that's the right pick, I mean then that's something, right?
Right.
I mean, how do you feel about the player? That's the question.
I saw him play quite a bit last year. Purdue was a good team, and Jaden Ivey is a name that I know I've heard, and
who's the best? I mean,
I don't really know
who's projected to be the best. Okay,
I'm not really. I mean,
that's okay. I mean, we don't have to really.
No, we can wait,
just leave it with
the draft is coming soon.
Yeah, we'll leave it with the next stuff. But yeah, so dude, whatever they decide to do, as long as they're improving and working towards something, that's important.
I don't think that Tibbs is the problem, I think that he's better than their last four coaches.
I think he's the solution as long as there's progress.
Yeah.
If like the only problem he could have is that his message could be going out one ear and out the other. If progress isn't being slow.
And that's why I'm kind of okay with the idea of possibly shipping Randall off somewhere else, because then you have all young guys that are going to be willing to listen to the message
and that are buying into the message. I think last year you could make the argument, and again I didn't watch a ton of Knicks stuff last year, but I can tell you this: Randall to me is a guy that thinks that he doesn't have to necessarily listen to everything a coach is going to tell him, because he thinks that at this stage in his career that he's a veteran and that he has he's afforded himself the right to kind of do some of what he wants, which is horseshit, because the guy hasn't done enough for any organization
that he's been with
to grant him that kind of leeway, I guess.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think that's why it would be smart to ship him out. I'm not saying that Randall can't have a bounce back year, but I mean, that's what I would try to sell to another team.
Well, and you think about it, your core is mostly young. You have Barrett, you have Toppin, you're not going to win quickly.
You're not winning next year anyway. So at the end of the day, I mean, if Randall doesn't think they can win, then I mean, Randall's probably not going to want to be there anyway, right?
The point with Tibbs though is he's way better than David Fizdale.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was.
I think Fizdale is an assistant.
Yeah,
some guys are assistants.
Yeah,
he's an assistant.
And then even Fizdale was bad, and I still don't think that I think
Jeff Hornacek was better than Fizdale.
Yeah. And Hornacek wasn't great, but he was better than Fizdale.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Knicks I think they're finally moving in the right direction. But again, hopefully they give Thibodeau the ability to really make it work. If not, then they're going to be in the same spot that they were in a couple years ago in a year or two, which is really unfortunate.
I'd really like to see all of New York just turn a corner.
We'll see.
Obviously the Yankees are there.
49-17, although again, we'll talk about that in a minute. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back at you with some baseball. We'll
come back on you with some white stuff.
And not white socks, white stuff.
We don't like the White Sox.
No, white socks. And
while when we're about to come back, we're going to talk to you about how we're still waiting for those good teams that the Yankees are supposed to be playing here.
I know, right?
Where are these good teams?
I know these good teams.
Wait until they play the good teams, right?
I think all I can see is a sweep. I started taking out my broom and sweeping my porch every day. I'm like, because I'm getting so swept out in this mindset here. Anyway, so we're gonna come back at you. We're the golf. We touched on it good. Congratulations to Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, of course.
We're happy for you, guy. We are. Good job.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheerio, mate, and have some chips for us, okay?
Yeah, and maybe some fish.
And put another shrimp on the barbie, okay? Thanks a lot. All right, we'll be back in a bit, guys. All right. Toasty.
Man, my stomach really hurts.
Really? Your stomach hurts that bad? Well, why don't you try KO Pectate? It's supposed to relieve heartburn and diarrhea in what will feel like no time at all.
Yeah, I've heard about that KO Pectate. They've been in business for over 20 years, and unlike Pepto-Bismol, the taste is much more bearable. So where can I pick up this amazing KO Pectate?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's the best part of this product. Anyone can find it at their local drugstore or supermarket.
Great, gotta go get me some KO Pectate.
Daylight had spoken, so clear and so plain. I'm the keeper of nothing but an old flame, consuming the shadows, caught in the light, blinded by hunger and fed to the night. Darling, you came to me like a dream in this.
We're back. We're black.
We're back.
And we're black, and we love black.
Oh yeah. The absence of color, or is that all color? I don't know.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
But we're back.
We're black. As we're gonna get into the New York Yankees again. We're 49-17, Dylan, and today we did lose a heartbreaker. We scored 9 runs and we fucking gave up 10. And Susan, that tells you that you're going to lose the game if you give up 9 and score, or if you give up 10 and score 9.
Well, I heard that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was in Susan Waldman's box.
That's one Harry box. That's one Harry Drew box. So you know what the funniest thing is? So I don't know if you are aware of this, but Justin Shackle or something like that.
Yeah, did he call this game today?
He was calling the games this weekend.
How was he?
He was okay. Nowhere near as good as John. Honestly, John's voice is much better than Justin's. But I will say this: my favorite part was the first game on Friday. I was waiting for Kevin to come get me to go to Bethel, and I was over in Middletown. I met him at the AMC, and the fucking Susan goes, "Justin, it's so good to have you in the booth." She's like, "I miss John, but Justin, you're a breath of fresh air." And she's like, "Justin, have you seen this place? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Is this the first time you've been to the Rogers Center, Justin?" She's like, "Look at the scoreboard in center field. Did you take a picture of it? It's amazing. It's exquisite, Justin. How awesome is that scoreboard in center field?" And I'm just like laughing my ass. I'm like, this woman's a fucking nut, man. Oh my God.
So, I had heard that it came down to Justin Shackle and the possibility of Ryan Ruocco, which I would have loved.
Well, I love Ruocco. They're going to have like a revolving door thing.
I hope Ruocco gets a shot to do some radio games.
I think his voice is great.
And when he was filling in for Kay,
yeah,
He has a great home run call.
His voice.
He gets very excited when
Shackles. He goes, Yankees win. The Yankees win. I'm like, no, it's the Yankees win. That's the way you got to say it. You can't fucking go Yankees win.
And if your home run call is anything short of it is high, it is far, it is gone. Then what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You don't belong there.
Get the fuck out of that box.
That was a Sanchinian blast.
Santonian blast. That was a Sanchonian.
Have you heard his call for Carpenter? Carpenter nails that one. That's like the best call because it's nothing way over. I remember one time when we first heard the Stanton call. Dan Patrick had Michael Kay on, and he goes, "What did you think of John Sterling's Stanton call?" And the Michael Kay goes, "No supply Staparlo," and he goes, Patrick goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Did you like it?" And Michael Kay goes, "I'm just gonna stick with see ya." He goes, "Although that might be my second choice, I'm gonna stick with see ya."
Oh God, yeah.
So. Severino didn't pitch bad, right?
Yeah, he pitched okay. So Sevy gave up 3 runs, and then he
struck out 9.
Yeah, he walked the guy in the 6th inning, and they took him out, and they went to Miguel Castro, and ordinarily I have no problem with Miguel Castro, and the Yankees at that point were up 7-3. Actually, they were up 8-3. I'm sorry, they were up 8-3 at that point. So I figured a 5-run lead, I feel pretty good. During the 6th inning, this bullpen's been great. And then he gives up a cheap hit and then a couple of walks. And all of a sudden, bases are loaded. And again, he starts the next guy off with a ball. And they just couldn't find the plate. And then at some point during that at-bat, he gives up the grand slam. And now all of a sudden, the game's 8-7. And we're in a nail-biter. And then they bring in Wandy Peralta to pitch the end of the 6th.
Who actually, he got the loss.
Yeah, Wandy Peralta comes in. He pitched the end of the 7th, got a guy to pop up to first, in the foul territory, and then the 7th inning comes, and Peralta he walks a couple of guys himself, couldn't throw strikes either, and gives up a fucking 3-run home run. So now the Yankees are down 10-8. And that's really where the game kind of turned. I thought that, it's a little disappointing we couldn't sweep Toronto because it would have been a real sweet sweep. And honestly, at the end of the day, Toronto, they didn't play great. They gave up 9 fucking runs today. For us to give up 10 is a little disappointing. But again, I cannot be upset with this team because they won what? They won fucking 9 straight there or something like that. And
we've been.
And, I mean, we have 49 wins, but and again, I think we have a 12-game lead in the division.
Yeah,
I won't.
It's unbelievable.
I can't listen. I'm not going to sit here and say anything bad about them, but I definitely was a little disappointed with the way that both.
We're up 11 games on Toronto, 13 on Tampa.
But the way that both Peralta and Castro pitched was a little upsetting today. That's all I'm saying.
This kid that I used to be friends with. I'm not really friends with him too much anymore. He posted on there was a video of somebody hitting a home run. Mm-hmm. Marwin Gonzalez's home run, and he said, "Tell us what happened after that." Big Red Sox fan, and I want to comment on. I'm going to comment on to it right now. Reply to him and say, when you're 13 and a half games back, you're not allowed to talk shit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Listen, at the end of the day, dude, we're on a roll. We do have to go now to Tampa and play 3 games, and as long as we win 2 out of 3 in Tampa, we're still in prime position. Obviously, you're not going to win every game, and dude, every game that John was doing, he was like, Susan, this team's unbelievable. You don't win every game in baseball, Susan. You lose games, but we keep winning, Susan. We keep winning. He's like, so I guess we won another one. That's unbelievable, Susan, huh? But you don't win every game in baseball, Susan. It just doesn't happen, Susan.
Who was that? That fucking whole thing with
So
the umpire was trying to say that the call was over. The call on the field was standing, and the Orioles didn't lose a challenge. And John goes, "Who was that?"
Did you see? After this is it for the Yankees, real quick, and then we'll go on about the Jets a little bit. But did you see the other day? There was a thing when the Yankees had the Rays at home, when the Yankees were at Yankee Stadium, and there was a game where like they stopped it for 20 minutes because the Rays were. Kevin Cash was upset that I guess he felt that the Yankees had an extra mound visit than they should have. And, like, the umpires had to, like, talk for 15 minutes about whether or not the Yankees had too many mound visits or not. So, like, instead of, like, letting the inning go and, like, just playing the game, they waited for 20 fucking minutes. And Susan's like, John, I don't understand for the life of me what's going on here. She's like, I mean, are they talking about Boone, like, did he walk out too far? Did he get too close to the line and now he has to take the pitcher out? Or is he good? I mean, are they debating whether or not he has to take him out? I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here. And now Kevin Cash is talking to the umpire because he's got to know what's going on. He wants his 2 cents, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Susan's star of the game, and Susan always gets her man. That's what he says. So, listen.
Her man.
We've gone on a couple of winning streaks this year, and I think that it's safe to say we can't get upset with every loss, as heartbreaking as they can be.
Of course not.
When you lose, you lose. When you know, it's obviously if we could go 100, if any team in baseball could go 162-0, the Yankees would have been the one that have done it already.
And they have some fucking balls too, going up primetime on a Sunday on Father's Day against the U.S. Open. I mean, like, let's be honest. They played at 1:35 today in Toronto. You think a lot of people are watching the Yankees over the fucking U.S. Open? I mean, U.S. Open's the final round of the U.S. Open's one day a year.
Yeah.
I
didn't watch Yankee games.
I just don't think you can put a regular season baseball game in Toronto up against I know golf isn't the most popular among everybody, but I'm just saying that it's a major and it's the final round.
Right.
In retrospect, if you look at...
I just didn't watch because I don't have the S Network.
Okay. That makes sense, too. Well, you might not have Peacock. You might not have fucking Amazon Prime.
I know, yeah.
Or Apple TV.
I just got kicked off the Netflix I was on, too.
Shit.
Yeah.
You're in a bad spot.
Ex-girlfriend finally remembered I was on her Netflix.
What a bitch. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude, you deserve to be on there another couple of years. You stuck it to her good. Anyway.
I just wanted to watch Stranger Things, man.
Well, she thought your dick was Stranger Things. She was like, whoa. So why don't we get into the Jets real quick?
Yeah. So, look, all I have here is, it's from NewYorkJets.com.
Okay. And
it's 5 takeaways from Jets OTAs and minicamp.
Okay.
Mekhi Becton is there.
And he's overweight, supposedly, right?
I don't think he's overweight. I think
somebody said he was...
No, he spent the first couple of days of minicamp with the training staff, just working out a little bit and seeing what he could do. And
was anybody upset on the Jets staff that of the way he?
No, they were happy that he was there.
No, but did it seem like they were upset about his shape?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And he went to a press conference wearing a shirt that said "Big Bust." And it had a circle around it that had a bunch of other words like overweight, and it seems like he's coming into this what's going to wind up being a training camp battle with George Fant.
He's setting himself up.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
He's setting himself up for motivation. Yeah.
So,
but my question to you is this: I mean, I was listening to Kiki and Kearney last week, and they were discussing how I guess some people within the Jets aren't happy, and there's a chance they could turn around and potentially trade him, which I don't think is going to happen. But they keep talking about a DK Metcalf trade, which I don't think is ever going to happen. If that was going to happen, it would have happened, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so ask your question.
So here we go. So Mekhi Becton and George Fant are set for a training camp competition. That's one of the takeaways here.
So, but can't both of them play on the line? Like one of them.
I think.
Fant can switch, right?
Right.
And
Fant played really well at left tackle last year. He played better than he did at right tackle. But I think we re-signed Morgan Moses, so
yeah,
I think they're competing for left tackle, and Morgan Moses is going to be the right tackle.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but the next thing says Zach Wilson has a great mindset entering year 2.
Okay,
it says among coaches and teammates, second-year quarterback Zach Wilson has been described as beefy, thick, more decisive, super special, and more. He transformed his body, reported to OTAs at 221, and looked more comfortable on the field. And Bob Saleh was quoted as saying, "He's in with a great mindset. He obviously physically remade his whole body, mentally, which is a big part that we're all really excited for."
Is that Bacon or is that Zach Wilson?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Great shape.
So the next thing here is the rookies have impressed. Jets' 2 top 10 picks, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, have both flashed during the spring minicamps.
Okay.
Gardner, who did not allow a touchdown reception in more than 1,000 snaps at Cincinnati, finished minicamp on a high note by picking off Zach Wilson in the red zone and taking it back 100 yards to score.
Let me ask you this, though. Is that a condemnation on Zach's throw, or is that something good about Zach?
That's the thing.
Sauce?
But also there was talk last week that there was a play where Zach Wilson beat Sauce deep to DJ Montgomery. Who the fuck is DJ Montgomery?
I've never heard of him.
So
yeah,
and that's the same thing that you just said. I said to somebody else. I said, is that more of an indictment on Sauce, or is it that Zach is good?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Exactly.
We won't know until they play in games.
But dude, it's a fucking training camp.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't know until they play games.
Like, this is the thing about Jet fans, and like myself included. We get hyped over shit that doesn't necessarily matter, and we dissect shit that doesn't necessarily matter, and then like when it actually for real in the season is happening, I don't think we give it enough credit or enough credence.
Right.
So we have to fixate on what's more important on the bigger picture, and not on bullshit fucking OTA stuff.
The last thing coming out of Jets minicamp and OTAs is that Carl Lawson is ready to go.
Okay.
And it says, the next time the green and white take the field for training camp, defensive lineman Carl Lawson could put on pads for the first time since rupturing an Achilles tendon in a joint practice against the Packers last August. He was quoted as saying, "I'm good to go, and I'll be ready to go anytime my name is called. Even on one leg, I was ready to go, but the trainer said I couldn't."
I'm excited about the possibility that this team has.
There's a lot of potential, and we can't.
But that being said, we went through the schedule. It's a hard schedule, and we cannot get too down about what we perceive to be a step backward, because I believe if we get too high and we have too high of expectations to start, we're going to get disappointed. I think what we have to do is we have to stay level, and we have to realize this team is young, and the first couple of weeks are going to be a little bit rough. I think we're going to have to gel,
Yeah, I agree.
But we're gonna open with the Ravens, and it's just going to be a hard schedule. But ultimately, it opens up for us halfway through, and we just got to hold on. Let's hold on. Let's ride the wave and see what happens.
And I think we're going to you and I talked about it, and I don't know if the listeners know, but we're going to plan on possibly doing a show from the stadium parking lot this year, right?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
I would like to do it from the home opener. I think that's where we're going to get the most people.
The only problem is we have to make sure we have some. I guess we'll have to do like a mobile hotspot or something.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Okay, in order to get this going,
I have it right on my phone.
Oh, we got to be careful with what's the date for the home opener? Do you know?
September 11th.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shut. September 11th. Yeah, I mean, that could definitely work.
Well, we could do another game. Maybe later on in the season we can do it from the Revis retirement. They're not retiring his number, but they're putting him in the Ring of Honor.
I'm just saying we're gonna be going on a trip in September, so I just got to figure out which dates those are. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll do it from a home game, and we'll just set up a tent. And Gordon said he'll give us he has a tent. He has a blue top for it. He's going to get us a green top.
Okay. Is he going to show up? Is he going to show up?
Maybe we could have him on.
Is he going to show up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I'll see what we can do about maybe getting some fucking business cards or something made. We pass them out.
The fucking fisherman better fucking be there.
The Gordon fisherman.
So that's a wrap, unless
we don't have anything else.
No, I think that's it.
I just wanted to talk a little Jets. I'm always ready to talk a little Jets.
We riffed.
This is
a good seg.
Yeah. And you know what? At the end of the day, it could be worse. You could be Will Zalatoris.
What? Being in contention and coming in second and 2 straight
Coming in second.
Tell you what.
First place loser.
Well, that's Tiger Woods' old mentality, but I wouldn't say that. Listen, the guy came in second in 2 world-class events.
I'd kill to be Will Zalatoris.
Life should be so fucking good.
All right, so let me change it up here. Could be worse. She could be Jason Tatum. How about that?
Okay. So we're gonna see you next week, you freaks.
And you know what?
Don't let those babies grow up to be Cowboys.
Oh yeah, and bring your A game because we're gonna be here, and we're gonna have our A game. Something like that.
Okay. On that note, please go fuck yourself. Obviously, go fuck yourself.
Love you. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Spanish for the whale's vagina. Bye bye.
Well, it's all right, riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right, if you live the life you please. Well, it's all right, doing the best you can. Well, it's all right, as long as you lend a hand. You can sit around and wait for the phone to